Hello everyone, my name is Katie and welcome to my Greenland Quilter channel. I hope that everybody is having a great Saturday and a good start to your weekend. Tonight I am going to finish working on my on the block I was working on last night during last night's live that I ended up stopping due to pain. So we are going to finish that tonight. And if I'm still okay after I finish that block, I'll start working on some more of my dragon fruit. If not, then you know the drill. I'm going to have to stop. But anyway, that's what we're going to work on today. So I'm wondering, what have you been working on today or the past few days? Let me know in the chat while I finish getting these windows straightened out on my screen. Let me know what you've been working on or what you've been doing. Okay, there's live streaming there. I have to move the chat so I can see it. And then read what everybody said and say hello to everyone at the same time. So as you can see, I got another poll with a very long word on it. Let's see how many get that one right. I know I got it wrong when I tested myself. Okay, yes, Denise. Hi, Denise. Someone was in here before you were, weren't they? Anyway, Rita was. Hi, Rita. And hello, Denise. And yes, he left this morning. Hi, Sherry. She says she's listening, but she has a headache all day. So listening. I hope you get to feeling better. Hi, Mary. She says hello to everyone. And if you need to stop, we understand. Denise said, hi, Denise. She says, Nico is your real wingman. Yeah, he's gone though. Don't you stay on line 1 minute longer than you're physically safely secure yourself. You don't even have to say goodbye, feel fabric or whatever. Thank you, Denise. Hi, Jaja. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Uh-oh. And hello, Lori. Welcome, welcome. Rita says, goodness, where did everyone come from? Hi, My Quilt Projects. What is your first name? Hello, Linda. Hello, Janet. And hello, Essa. And okay. And then Rita says the word is well, brave. Haha. I am going to venture out to a store, a concept all on its own. I hope you do good and don't get stressed out from doing that. So, yeah. All right. So let me get down. Get in your bed. Get in your bed. Go. Bed. Go on. Get in your bed. Get in your bed. Thank you. Okay. All right. So yesterday, when I was live, we were working on this clown go around block from the 1,000 block book. And let me see if I can get everything rearranged around here without messing things up. Okay. So yesterday you saw that I had this block made. So that's what each side of the corners are going to look like. Okay. So I have everything ready to be sewn together. I've been thinking about what I want to do about this paper that's outside the seam allowance. I'm thinking about folding it back so it's easier to tear off once I've sewn everything together. So I'm probably going to do that first. That way there's not all this congestion with the paper, because this paper is not regular paper piecing paper. I use printer paper because I thought I had some paper piecing fabric. Turns out I didn't. Go figure. So anyway, we're going to start sewing these together. And so I'm going to do one block at a time based on this one here. So I'm going to take this one out. We're going to take all these pieces out and move the design board for right now so that you can see what I'm doing. And we'll put this one where you can see this main block right here on the second camera. That way you can see how I'm going to build these pieces together. This block is not that hard. It's just all these seams here are quite bulky. Plus you have to make sure that you get try to get this seam line here aligned as well as this one over here, because you're going to meet in the middle right here with this one. So that's the only thing you need to really be worried about if you're, if you care about that, which we all know I do. Okay, so let's get this first one laid out. And then I'm going to take one of these bigger pieces, which is going to go right here like this. And then we will be putting this green right here, okay? So what I plan on doing is I'm going to go ahead, I'm trying to debate on, yeah, I'm going to go ahead, first things first, I'm going to sew the smaller pieces onto this, just like that. And I'll do all three of them the same. I'll go ahead and we'll set this aside for right now, and I'll pull all of these pieces out along with these three bigger pieces, okay? And we will sew them on first. And all I just got to do is make sure that everything's laying the way it should. I thought about taking the paper off, and I'm seriously really thinking I should do that because it might make sewing this on easier and make it easier to line up the seams. Because there's so much bulk, this paper is really not meant for paper piecing, but it's what I had on hand. And I'll say the same thing to you. If you don't have, if you're printing out paper to use for piecing and you don't own any actual paper, foundation paper, you can do printer paper. There is no law that says you cannot. So I'm going to take all of them off these big pieces first. Let's see what's going on in the chat. The carrots will feel, Rita's on the carrots. She thinks these look like carrots. That wasn't my idea. It's the carrots with feet, sorry, but that is what it looks like to her. Yeah. Well, it's still going to look cute. I think it'll look cute. And this is actually not even orange. It looks orange, but it's actually a salmon color. The cameras are not telling the truth. I'd like to ask you guys, when y'all been watching my lives lately, have you had any commercials show up in your lives? Nora, stop. It's not time for you to eat yet. She thinks it is. I think she associates live streaming with me feeding her. Can you hear that tail going faster? She's hilarious. So I'm just taking the papers off the back. No, but I pay for YouTube Premium, says Jaja. Hey, Lainey. Good to see you. She says, oh, goodness, my dogs are doing a concert thing. Let me see. Yes, I just had one. Yes, I had one. A good day to you, Katie, and all. Hey, Bonnie. And Rita says the drums go with the concert here. Poor puppy, abused, says Rita. She is not abused. She just thinks she is. I took her for a walk. I went for a short walk. Nicolai, be proud of me. I went for a short walk today. Hang on a minute. You know that you sound like an elephant in a china factory? This is still permanent. No, come here. In there. Come on. Ah, you're not eating that on the carpet. No. Nora, come here. Go on, get in there. Okay. So for those of you that don't know, I feed Nora's on a raw diet. So that means raw meat. And she was trying to bring her chicken leg in here to eat it on this carpet. And it's like, no, not having it. Okay. Let me see here. We need to put this on this side. So let me have a look at this. I want to see which way these seams are going. Now that I took the paper off, because I could probably press these seams open on one side. Okay, let's do that. All right. So bear with me here. There are some lives, no ads. Okay, I was just curious if some were getting ads and some weren't getting ads because I turned it off, but that doesn't mean it won't play it. Do not think Katie sees Nico is here. Yes, I saw he was here. I said hi to him. He also called me right before I went live too. No, I saw he was here. I saw him. Hi, Yadira. Channel operators who choose no ads could risk monetization. That doesn't make sense. I'm already monetized. I just don't let the ads. I try to make the ads not run during the live because a lot of people don't like for them to be the ads to be on while the live is going on. But YouTube was supposed to be fixing it so that when an ad came on, especially if you're on a phone or something, it would go to the side instead of covering up the whole live itself. But I don't know if that's actually working for everyone or not. I hope it is. So what I'm doing is I'm pinning these pieces together so that I can sew them together. Hop on. Oh, that's the bot. Asa, did you get settled in okay at the hotel? Oh, which hotel are you at? I forgot to ask you that earlier. Which one did they put you at? Uh-oh, this is crooked. See, one thing about this is when you take the papers off, it's not as easy to mess with these smaller pieces as to where when it's stiff, like because of the paper, you can get everything, it'll go into place. At the HHE Express, okay, that's kind of out of the side of the city, isn't it, Nikolai? Or is that down there by the harbor? Okay, got the first one pinned. Let's start with the second one. I have seen 2 ads so far. See, even though I tell it not to play them, they play it anyway. because I know for a fact I told it I would manually do it, and I'm not doing it manually because I don't know how to do it manual. So I just set it for manual, and it's supposed to not do anything. But it's okay. All right, so I had asked in the channel, let me ask a new question. Is there anyone planning on starting any new projects this month of November? And if you are, what new project are you starting? Let us know in the chat. Near the church. Okay. Oh, that is in town. Okay, got you. All right. Okay, let's get this done. Rita says, new old project, does that count? Hey, whatever you got that you plan on working on this month, let me know. This is irritating me a little bit. Rita says she's going to be making some new wind spinners and make some super cute keychain things. No, not key fobs. Hey, though, I saw on your little video, whatever it was you did yesterday or today about those spinners, you're making those out of Coke cans or something, or some kind of cans. Are they going to go outside in your garden? Christmas, says Sherry. Hey, Sherry. I hope you get to feeling better, sweetie. I'm sorry about your headaches. I really hope that this doesn't mess up because I took the papers off of it. Soda cans, yes, go outside or can go inside. Oh, because I would love to have some spinners. I think those are the cool. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, Twister, the original one, the original Twister movie. The female character, I guess I don't know if she was considered the main character or the secondary character, but I think that was her aunt that had all those wind-driven spinners outside in her yard. And I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. You can put them in the center of the fan, and then anyone walks under the fan smacks them on the head. Oh, that's funny, Rita. Our ceilings are too low to have ceiling fans because we would be knocking our head on it all the time. We were watching The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown last night, and the kids were calling Lionel a blockhead. And I kept thinking a Moda blockhead said Jaja. That's funny. Keychains from Kansas dangerous due to sharp edges, says Rita. Yeah. And Rita says she can stand under a fan because she's very short, but someone else isn't. Ha ha. I know who you're referring to. Has he been trying to make peace with you since he got in trouble? I don't think I would be getting over wreckage of my garden anytime soon if I was in your shoes. Nora, no. You know, after you left, honey, she whined for about 2 hours. She's missing her daddy. All right, let's get this sewn. I need a leader. Oh, and I could put my 1/4-inch foot back on too. Let's do that. Switch back over to the foot. Oops. All right, we got the needle moved. The right foot on here. Okay, now we can get started on sewing these pieces together. All right, let's sew this first one and let's hope for the best. Rita said, speaking of shirt, honey, where did you put your shirt out? Because I need to put that up there so Nora can lay on it. I forgot that, where did you put it? What did Denise say that I missed? Denise says, I thought Nora barking was my dog, my daughter's dog. I yelled for my grandsons to let her into the house. I'm losing it. That's funny, Denise. No, it was Nora. Being a little loud child today. She's missing her daddy. Her partner in crime. Okay, one more to go, and then we will press it, and then we'll add the other side to this. And then we'll have these 3 sides done where we can sew the whole block together. I hope y'all like this block. I think it's going to be cute, even if it does look like carrots. Okay, I'll look for it, honey. I'll go and get it in a minute. She would appreciate that. Let's get these out of here. I'm going to have to press them. All right, let's take these over to the iron. Leave the iron to heat up. Come on. Come on. Here's Daddy's shirt. See, here's Daddy's shirt. Go on in there. Okay. All right, we've got these pressed. Now I'm just going to get my seam roller on them a little bit to try to help flatten the seam some more. And I feel like I need to open the front door because it's warm in here. I want to put some of these seams open because it'll make everything lay down better. Woke up like a charm. So Rita says, works like a charm. So amazing what helps fur babies. Yes, it does. As soon as I stuck it in front of her nose, she started wagging her tail. That's why she likes to sleep in his blanket. We both of us have our own blanket to sleep under on the bed. Because I get hot easy, so I'm always kicking the blanket off. So we use our own blankets. And so when Nikolai leaves and I put her in the bed with me, she always is snuggled up in his blanket. Okay, I'm gonna put the iron on this one more time. Okay, now let's get the other side of this put on. So let me show you where we are, so you can see this. I've sewn the smaller side on first is what I've done. All three of them here. So we have this small piece right here sewn on. Now what we got to do is we have to sew this side on. This whatever degree angle triangle you would call this. And I'm going to go ahead and pull all the paper off. And then I just have to make sure that I put these on correctly. Looks like I forgot to cut a 1/4-inch seam on this one. That's funny. This one's going to have a little bit of a big seam, but I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to leave it alone. It's not going to hurt nothing. Dogs live in the here and now, but change such as missing a person they do not understand. That's true. It's weird, but she also knows. I don't know how she knows. She knows usually when it's time for him to leave again or when it's time for him to come home again. This time around, I think it's going to be a little confusing for her because he didn't leave when he was planning to leave. And yeah, we've got two. Which one? Let me see here. So it's this seam I need to press open. It's just the top seam. This other one doesn't line up. Yeah. Hi, Carrie. All right. Anyone want to hop on Zoom with me? Let me know. I'll send you the Zoom link if you want to come sew with me on the live. I'll be more than happy to bring you on. And if you have a channel, don't forget to type !selfie and share your channel. We've got to help each other. It helps our channels a lot when we share each other's channels. Dogs live in the here and now and routine, says Rita. Yes, they do. She was funny. This dog misses nothing. She associates certain things like, and I think it's because she notices my habits. Like I can simply pick up her sweater. Now she hasn't worn her sweater for the whole spring, summer, and fall. And it's been hanging on the wall in there. and it's chilly enough today to warrant putting a sweater on her. And so I pulled the sweater off the wall, and she was at my feet carrying on because she knew what I was going to do. She knew I was going to take her outside because I took her down the road and back for a short walk. And she just knows. It's pretty amusing. Where's the other one at? Oh, I've done all three of them, right? No, do this. All right, I'm gonna start pinning these together. I just need to make sure I have them all laid the right direction so I don't get myself all confused. All right, let's start with this one. Is everybody okay so far in the chat? There is another ad, just so you know. Wow, 3 of them? Dang. That makes me want to go look and see if I forgot to turn something off. I hope not, because I'm almost sure I turned it off. Let me go look real quick. Monetization. Oh, oops. I didn't set that one. All right. Thank you for filling me in because I just went and looked. And this one was set at a different setting. Okay, thought I had set it to the manual, but it wasn't on manual, it was on medium. Sorry. Thanks, Rita. I just reset it and we'll see if you get any more ads or not. Because I don't mind turning them off during the live. Katie, I just ordered a cotton cut subscription box. I also put in the comments of my order that you were the one that recommended it to me. Oh, that's awesome, Janet. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was thinking about how we talked about that last night, and I had gone into the craft room. I've been slowly kind of like taking some things out of there, and I had come across some more of my cotton cut subscriptions because sometimes I leave them in the box and sometimes I don't, and I just happen to leave these in there, and I got to thinking, I thought, I wonder how many will actually go over and look at the subscription setup. Did you set yourself to platinum, or did you set yourself up for something specific? What did you do? Okay. Now let's get this thing back in here. Platinum. All right. Yay. That way you have a choice of choosing each month with which box you want to play with. And Sylvie says, I was going to maybe another time. Okay, just whenever. No pressure here. I will never pressure anyone. I just can't believe I've had mine for as long as I have. I went back and looked, it was the spring of 2018 when I signed up for mine, and I've never even stopped mine. I signed when I first signed up for subscription boxes. I was signed up for both sew sampler box and my cotton cuts, and I stopped my sew sampler box in right before COVID. I think right at the beginning of 2020, or no, I think I stopped it in April of 2020 because they do the switch over of the patterns in April, where the patterns that come in those boxes, and that's when I stopped mine so that I would have the complete set of patterns. And the only reason I stopped the sew sampler box was because it was just it was, how do I do this without sounding critical? It just, what a lot of what was coming in the boxes every month, just the fabric wasn't up my alley. Let's put it that way. Because y'all know that I really like bright, happy colors. And I'm definitely have a penchant for batiks, which I just love. I hope I have this fastened right. Let's sew this one and make sure this one's right before I do the other two. She is laying on Nikolai's shirt. Now, when Fat Quarter Shop does their Jolly box and their 4th of July box, I always sign up for those, and I generally will buy 2 of them. And the reason I buy 2 of them is because by the time I get the boxes, and if I discover I like the fabric in the, usually it's Fat Quarters or something, for the most part it's usually Fat Quarters. By the time I get my box and I'm like, oh, I want to go buy some of that fabric, and then I go to Fat Quarters website and it's sold out because everybody loved that fabric. So I got smart and started ordering 2 boxes instead of 1. And yeah, I have extra notion, or 2 of some notions, and I've been saving the ones I'm going to eventually give away when I figure out the mail problem here. I'm going to give them as gifts. And oh, look at this block. Oh my gosh. Oh, man, I'm going to press it and show it to you. Oops, wrong way. Look, it went together just right. How about that? Perfect. Everything's all nice and pretty. Okay. All right, now let's do the next one. Actually, no, that needs to go on this side. Do y'all like the colors I've used? All right, let's sew this next one on. That reminds me, when you said Fat Quarter Shop, did you have a giveaway stream? My giveaway stream that I was scheduled for the 5,000 one had to be postponed because of the health issues I'm having right now, and I'm going to reschedule it. Probably I'll let you know the new date for that live stream, but I'm still going to give away the gift cards I promised. So I just need to schedule a new live stream. Because I was going to give away 6 gift cards. So those of you who had already signed up on the Google, I'll be doing the drawing with all of you who did the forms. So don't worry, you'll get your freebie. If your name gets drawn, you'll get a freebie card. I think that I should do the live stream for the giveaway on the weekend, the last, I have to look at the calendar, but the last week in November. That way it's right around Black Friday where y'all can spend your cards. Or that weekend of it anyway. No stress or pressure, says. By the way, what's your first name, Green Goblin? Terry says super pretty colors. Thank you. You know, this quilt this quilt top is going to be some kind of colorful, I have to say. All right, I pinned this one. Let's sew this one and see how this one comes out. I think I'm going to scan the quilt top layout and show you and fix it so you guys can see what it actually looks up close by putting it on the community tab and the Facebook group so you can have a better look at it. Also, while I am thinking about it, and since we're working on the 1,000 block and this is block number 20, I want to remind you that let me tell you the date that it will end. I put the polls up for the next 4 blocks, and I will stop the poll on I'll stop the poll Wednesday, November the 5th. So if you haven't gone over there and put your voted, share your voice on which one you like the best, because based on the percentages of each block will determine which one gets sewn first, second, third, and fourth. So those will be blocks 21, 22, 23, and 24. I didn't open that seam. Okay. So you only need to vote once. You can either vote on the community tab or you can vote in the Facebook group. It's up to you which one you want to vote on. The one in the Facebook group, you're going to have to put your vote number in the comments section because Facebook doesn't have the same setup for picture voting like the YouTube does. Okay, now we got one more to go, and then we can start sewing this together. All right, yep. Hi, Sean. What's going on? Hope you had a good weekend. I enjoyed your live this morning. I really should hit up. I would love for me to get Amanda over to sew with me. I need some new content with some more creators. Hi, Carissa. Oh, Carissa's Green Goblin. Oh, okay, gotcha. The Green Goblin. I'll try to remember that. You are Carissa. Okay, now we got to finish pinning one more side. Then we can sew this one together, and then we can start putting this block together. I think this block is going to be super cute. And inside of this 1,000 block book, I found a block pattern, and that speaks to me as if it's modern. And I am seriously thinking about making a project with just the block. into a either a mini or maybe a wall hanging quilt top, because the way the pattern goes, it's similar to the magnolia one I did, but it's not the same thing either. But I think it would be cool to do it in batiks. And maybe use a dark background this go around and then use all bright colors with the darkness. All right, everything's pinned. Let's sew this one. My husband changed the username and I don't know why, said Carissa. Maybe he was trying to be funny with Halloween or something. Who knows? I'll do that, Sean. Okay, we have a little bit of a problem. Oh, wait. I see what's happened here. I'm going to have to fix something real quick, which means ripping out one side. Which side is that I want to rip out? This. Oh, I need to rip it all the way back here. Let's start ripping it from this side then. And then I only have to take out one side, not all of it. So there's something a little off here, and it's because of how I pressed part of this, and I need to go back and fix it, which will only take a couple minutes, and then I'll resew it back on here again, and it should rectify what I see is wrong with it. What did you, Sean, are you feeling any better? Okay, let's pull these little strings out, and then I can fix what I found wrong with it. It was, I pressed it and it had a little bit of a ridge in it that shouldn't have been there. Yep, that's exactly what happened to it. Okay. Basically back to normal. No more cough, huh? Okay, let's get this song back. Well, I have lost my mind, but going to the store anyway. You about to go do it now, Rita? You must be needing something for you to want to go venture out to the store that you want to do yourself. Just take it easy when you're out. Perhaps being mischief, Carissa, for your husband. That could be possible too, Essa. Maybe he was playing a joke. Yeah, this one's weird. I don't know why. Okay. All right, let's get this board back over here. I need to. Okay, we are going to go ahead and sew all of these together. Hold on, I'll show you the layout. And it'll look better once I sew it all together, but this is what it's going to look like once I get everything sewn together. That ring is going to look really cool. All right, let's sew these together first. Oh boy. So I'm going to just sew one side together first, then I'll lay them out, and then we'll sew the next one onto each row. And then we will sew, and we will have this block done. It's going to be an interesting looking block for sure. Then I'm going to grab these two and sew them together. Carrie says, cute. It's definitely a different kind of block, but I want to show you this block. I'll show you the block I'm talking about that I want to do as a modern quilt block, because I think it looks a bit challenging and there is some paper piecing involved in it. So I probably won't do it as a big quilt, but more like a either a mini or I don't know, wall hanging style. Although it would look great as a big quilt, but it might take a long time. I don't know. Maybe you could do it over a year-long project or something as a personal project. Because I have some ideas for it. Okay, I'm going to go over to the iron again. Which way is this supposed to be pressed to? Yeah, that's what I thought. Wait, that's the wrong way. Okay, so now I have those three sewn together. Then I'll sew this to this, just the same direction. But I'm going to put the seam roll on it first. I want to make sure everything's laying flat. So to make, and I'm not going to have the seam open on these long seams. So I'm going to make sure I nest them properly, which I always struggle with doing. I'm better when I just do open seams completely. It seems to work out better that way. Okay, let's go ahead and sew this to this one. Hey, Jody. I enjoyed your little road trip. I had it on my phone, so I couldn't type as much because I wasn't in front of my laptop. Let's see. Let us know how your little trip to the store goes, Rita. Okay, one more to go. Katie, you take it easy and do not go longer if you can't. I'm being mindful here. If I finish this block, that'll be a good thing. Last night I wanted to sew. I still want to sew, but I've been thinking about how I'm going to combat not overdoing it with the back with the pain and stuff. I think what I'm going to do, like tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I have a live on Tuesday, but I think I have a live on Tuesday. Let me look. So here's my plan of attack. I thought what I would do, yeah, because Tuesday no, I don't have a live. I thought what I would do is like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this coming up week before I start my usual 3 in a row live. I thought I would sew on Monday, work on some pre-records, and then I can spend the evening editing those videos from the bedroom, and then on Tuesday spend like 2 hours sewing. Kind of, and if I can't make it to the 2 hours, then I just shorten the next go around to a shorter amount. But I thought like 2 hours on Tuesday, so then don't do any more sewing for that day. But I could edit videos from my laptop in the bedroom, sitting on the bed, and then on Wednesday do 2 more hours of sewing and work on any pre-records I want to do, and then we'll have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday's live, and then I have a live with Sean on the 9th. So on Monday or do pre-records one of those 2 days. Then I have my crocheting live on the 11th. So I'm kind of scheduling it on my calendar so I can get an idea of how I at least put a little time in sewing without putting too much stress on my back. She says she's going to buy fabric and other stuff. Figure if I have to be in pain, I am going to enjoy it, she says. Be careful though out there, okay? And someone's reminding me to stand up. Okay, I got all of these pinned. Let me get my little board out of the way. And where is my leader? Okay. You should see how Nora is laying on her daddy's shirt. I don't know how Tiffany makes this standing up look so easy. She's got her shirt where her head is right on part of it so that she can smell it. And then she curled up on the other side of it. She's funny. It seemed to have settled her, which is what I was hoping for. She definitely misses you already. And when you called, she heard you, and that's why she got all wound up, I think. She's like, wait a minute, he's not talking to me yet. Why not? Let's see. We want this to go toward the inside. Okay. And the other toward the outside. Okay. We got that one done. We have this one. And this one. Okay. Now we got all I have to do now is I have to sew each row across horizontal, and then this block is done. What beautiful are you creating today, says Sandra. This one is called Clown Go Around from the 1000 Block book on page 231. And it's block number in the book is block number 447. So this is what the book shows it to look like. And I'm doing it in batiks. So that's this. I started this last night and I had to stop because the pain was keeping me. Yeah, we're trying to prevent me from getting in. We're trying to make sure I don't get into a relapse is what we're trying to do. And Nikolai left this morning, so I have to be more mindful not to get myself in a pickle. because a lot of times I tend to ignore the pain, and then when it's out of control, I'm in trouble. So what do y'all think about this so far? All right, let's get this sewn together. First, I'm going to make sure I have everything lined up, these seams parallel to each other. Jaja says super cute. Thank you. So I'd like to take a pin and make sure I'm sitting right in the seam, not over on where it shouldn't be. And then I go through this other seam up here and make sure I line it up, because I'm going to be nesting these seams, because I didn't press these open because there's so much bulk right here. I didn't want to do that. Sometimes I have to just wing it and hope for the best when it comes to nesting, because sometimes I just have an epic fail with nesting. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I take a pin out too soon, or I don't know. Great, good job, Katie. Thank you, Denise. Hi, Denise. How's your are you up and moving around now, Denise? How's things going with you? Yep, Nikolai is going back to his mistress, but he'll only be out to sea until the end of November, and then he'll come back home again. So he won't be gone a long time, which is good. But we have emergency stuff in place in case I have to call the ship. We've got contact in place and everything in case I have trouble. And I also have you guys for support too. So sorry to put this all on y'all. But hopefully I won't get into a predicament where I have to call an ambulance. That was scary. Hello, Gladys. I saw your posting earlier today. If there's anything that any of us can do, let us know, okay? If you need to talk, or because I know you said you were going to take some time off. Big hugs for you. I'll be thinking about you though. Hey, Andy, how's it going today with you? Did you have a weekend thing you had to do this weekend for selling your things, or is that going to be coming up soon? Because I couldn't remember exactly when you said you were doing that. Yeah, I'll be thinking of you, Gladys. I'm okay at a 6 today. Okay, so you're in pain today. I saw that we had there's these science monitors that monitor different things that goes on with our planet. Um, some of them relate to the sun, and when the sun releases CMEs, which are coronal mass injections, that's what creates northern lights and other spectacles in the sky. But it also affects other things that our planet does. And there's something called the Schumann frequency something. I don't know exactly what the exact definition of it is. I would have to go do some research, but apparently um the readings for it are off the charts today, and that someone made a comment that um, there are people sensitive to that particular thing, and it can affect things like pain and other things. Okay, let's see. Denise said something. Okay, what did I miss? No, I think I left too soon. Super weak, but God will make a way, I hope. Just checking. Do you remember talking to me at the top of the live? Yes. I saw you were there. You said something about you wanted me to take it easy. I think. And I can't see the top of the chat because there's things covering it up. Denise, you'll still be in my prayers and sending you good thoughts and everything too. One thing I noticed is with this pain thing going on with me, it seems to have affected my ability to focus properly and to remember something I said or didn't say. Okay. Let me run the seam roller over this real quick. All right. Now we're gonna put the. Ooh, this is. I hope y'all like this block. It looks cute so far. Chris says, "Bye. I can't seem to sit through a complete Zoom." Oh, okay. See you when you come again. Bonnie says, "When it's cold, I hate the winter, and the raining really sets my pain off." Anybody have any remedies for controlling bone on bone pain in the knee? That's a good question. I wonder if turmeric would help. Because turmeric's supposed to be good for pain, and since you live in the United States, you have easy access to it. You should be able to order it from a specialty shop, or you could order it from online and have it sent to you where you don't have to go out and buy it yourself. But turmeric's supposed to be good for pain. And I forget what else. I'll have to do some looking on. But that would probably would help that bone on bone stuff. And maybe collagen. Denise says, "Yep, that was it. It was just the way you said it, like it was the first time today. Yeah, and you were telling me not to overdo it today, and you were the first one in the chat." I'm sorry that you got set back though. I hope you get feeling better. Really, I do. This being down is sucks. And I'm realizing that Nikolai's gone, and it's like, oh my gosh, my little safety net that I've had to be here helping me with my pain and stuff is gone. So it's like, oh. But he'd be proud of me. I did go for a short walk today. I did make myself do that today. Me and Nora went out for a walk, just a short one, not long. And tomorrow I'm going to go out again and walk a short walk. And maybe after a week of doing it, I'm going to increase how far I go. It's just I'm so worried that if I do too much walking before a live, I will have too much pain during the live. And I'm sure y'all are tired of me talking about it. I think I was 2 or 3rd to comment, Katie. Oh, okay. Because I knew you were here. Who else was in here early? Rita was here early. When you lose ability to stand without aid, it's scary. Said, yeah, exactly. The doctor gave me these exercises he wants me to do. Do you know how many on that printout are you getting on the floor? And I laughed at him, and he says, "What's funny?" I said, "Me getting on the floor, I can get on the floor, but getting off the floor is a problem because it hurts, and it takes me a while to get off the floor." Some of the exercises, I think some of those exercises, maybe I could do them in the bed. Helen, hi Helen. Helen says, I really like that, like your block. And she says, for me, the turmeric for my bone on bone doesn't make a difference. I take Tylenol for arthritis, which makes a difference. Okay, gotcha. I didn't know, I don't know. And I lost my leader again. I keep losing leaders. Dadgummit. Now I have to make another one. That's the 3rd one I've lost. Probably on the floor. All right, let's get this one sewn. And let me see how long I've been live now. I started at 6:30 and it's 7:55, so an hour and a half now. It's taken me an hour and a half just to do this. Of course, I haven't been sewing the whole hour and a half. All right. Okay, now we'll get this pressed and I'll show it to you. Ta-da! Denise says we need to be born with care instructions upon birth, which was we probably wouldn't follow to the letter. Some might, some probably wouldn't. Jojo says comfrey oil is good too. Sherry says essential oils will help bone on bone pain. Research them. And Denise says, did you ever go back for other tests to find out why you're having pain? That's going to take a while. Probably won't get to go to Nuke until the spring or summer. So that's been put on the, that's what I've been told. Sherry says, that's really pretty, Katie. Thank you. Regina says, just jumped in and saw your poll. I heard that word before from the Magic School Bus. Mr. Frizzle said that. It's going to be fun when I try to say it. Y'all like the block? And you can see it looks like a circle. Bonnie says she likes it. I probably should have did more warmer color here, made it hotter looking. So there you have that. I like the accent of the green. Yeah, me too. I think on my next block, hey, Kevin, welcome, welcome. I think on my next block, I'm going to incorporate purple, green, and pink in a block. I'm going to do all those three colors together because I think it would be interesting to do the three together. I just need to find the right color. I need a really in-your-face pink batik. Okay, so that's the finished block from last night. And hold on a minute, I'll show you what the next plan of attack is. Okay, so I'm an hour and a half into this, and I think we'll go about 30 more minutes. I would love to go longer, but I don't know, we'll see. So, as you know, I've gotten behind on everything, even my dragon fruit. So, the next thing I have to, I've already completed my 20 blocks that were, last time I showed you, I finished all of these, all 20 of them. There were 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4. Yeah. So I had to make 4 of each one of these. So the next thing I have to do is I have to make 16 blocks, but I'll be doing this setup. These will be 2 of these are square and square blocks, and then there's the economy block, I think. I think that's what this is saying. It's saying I got to do for this one right here. This one is square and square. And then this one here is the pair block, which will be doing square and a square. And then these 2 over here, this one will be the economy blocks, apparently. So I'm trying to, so what I need to do first is I need to cut some fabric, and I'm going to do this right here on the desk. I just need to move some stuff out of my way so that you can see me cutting. And then I will, I think what I'll do just to get started is I'll go ahead and start on the mango block, which is this one right here. That way you can see the fabric. And that means I need to cut 4 squares one side and then 8 squares of the other, and then cut on the diagonal for the, yeah. Okay, so let's do that first. So let me get all this paper out of the way so that I can use this as a cutting station where you can watch me cut this fabric up. Normally I don't do the cutting on a live, I go ahead and pre-cut, but I haven't been able to do a lot of things ahead this week. But next week I'll be better and have most of my cutting already done. At least I hope so. So I just need to move everything out of the way. So if you're going to watch me cut, I normally, like I said, don't do this on live. I've already pressed the fabric. I did do that before the live. So the two fabrics we're going to need for this block is the cotton candy and the spring. And the cotton candy is the white fabric with the little birds on it. It's this one. So we'll be cutting on that one. And we'll be cutting on let me make sure I don't get the wrong color here. Spring. Which is this color right here. And as y'all know, I'm not a Tula pink person. And some of this fabric is like, you know, this one, I'm not too whatever about it. But this is for my granddaughter because I know she will love it. Especially by the time you make blocks with it. You're not going to even think about that fabric looking kind of weird, you know? All right. So I am going to just trim and start cutting. I need 8 of those. Which means I get to stand up for a few minutes while I'm cutting because I don't sit down and cut. That's why you never see me cutting anything on a live, because I can't sit and cut. I need to be standing up doing it. I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll get where I'll sit down and do it, but I don't think so. I feel like I have a better accuracy when I'm cutting standing up. And I have to make room for everything. Okay, there we go. Mouse is out of the way. So I'm going to get a straight line set first. And I'm going to need 8 of this size. I'm just going to set this aside. Turn this around. And let's see if I can get 8 out of this. I have a feeling I'm going to have to cut another one. Smaller ruler because I need to cut this selvage off. Okay. And this gets me standing up, which is good. Okay. Let me see here. No, that's wrong. I'm about to make a bad choice. Yep, I'm going to have to cut another strip because there's no way I'm going to get what I need out of one strip. This will get used later in the game. So let's cut one more strip. Okay, that's all I'm going to need of this for now. Same thing, I need to get the selvage off of here. And I'll look at the chat in just a minute. And I need to cut all of these on the diagonal. Okay, so I have all these now cut. I cut all of this from 8 squares. I'll set this aside for right this minute. Now I'm going to need to take this other fabric, this string, and it needs me to cut 4 squares. And I'll do the same thing. I'm going to get myself a straight line set up here. Maybe. And what size is this got to be? Okay. And I'm going to fold this enough where I can just, yeah, go ahead and trim a straight line. Is Kevin still in the chat or did he already leave? He probably doesn't know that Nikolai's my husband. All right, let's get. Right. What size are these supposed to be again? Same size. Interesting. And I'm only going to need 4, so I don't think I'm going to need to cut another strip. Okay. All right. Now then, all I need to do is finish cutting these so I can make squares out of them. Got my straight line. Now I can cut my blocks. Do one more. And we all know why I'm not giving you measurements, because I'm not allowed. This is a paid for pattern through Fat Quarter Shop. Okay, so it asked me to make 4 of these and 8 of these and then cut them on the diagonal. So that's what I've done here. Now, let me show you the paper we're going to use. So this one says that we're going to use the square and a square, the 4-inch square and a square. Which is this set of, yeah, it's this set right here, okay? And I'm gonna put the other, so we're gonna need 4 of them. One, 2, 3, 4. Now, you can use pins or glue, whatever works for you best. I think I'm gonna use a dab of glue to fasten the square down as soon as I figure out where I put the glue. I have this habit of losing glue like it's crazy. I don't know how come I keep losing my little glue pins and sticks, but I do. But first, before I do anything else, I'm going to fold the paper and mark it on the back so I can see it. And I know that that's an extra step, but that's what works for my brain. You do you, whatever's good for you on this. Okay, I'm done with this also. Okay. And we need to make 4 of these with this colorway. All right. Now let me see what's going on in the chat, because I've been doing this for a few minutes. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me catch up in the chat and then I'll start doing this. Okay. All right, let me see here. Sherry says she likes the accented green. Uh-oh. And then Kevin's been sharing with Reddit. Denise says it's amazing how the placement of fabric creates the circle effect. Yeah, it is. And then, okay, Denise says, how small the world is. I have that paint splash fabric. It's probably 12 years old. Katie, I think it's safer to stand and cut with a rotary cutter for me anyway at 5, yeah, 5 foot. And then hello to the, oh my gosh. Is that Taysenberg? Is that how you say it? Let me know how to, what's your first name? The last chat. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Okay. As you know, Kimberly likes to make, she cuts things a little bit bigger and then you trim down. And that helps with getting accuracy. Now, on these, when you get a kit from Fat Quarter Shop, like this one is from Fat Quarter Shop, there is enough fabric in here to cover for doing that. And usually, unless you really have some mess ups, you're going to have enough leftover fabric probably to do piecing on the back or something, which is what I'm probably going to do with the leftovers. Is I'm probably going to do like 4 patch blocks or something like that, and put them on the back of the quilt, because I plan on incorporating a really big quilt label, probably right smack dab in the center of the quilt. I'm going to see if I can find someone who can embroider or make me a, I have lots of quilt labels, that's not the problem, but there's things I want to say on a quilt label for my granddaughter. And it occurred to me, maybe I could find someone who has an embroidery machine and find out what they would charge me to make me a quilt label that has specified amount of information on it. Because I want it to say, to my granddaughter, Abby, Abigail Grace. I'm not going to put her last name on there. And then it's going to be from me with my name. And then I'm going to tell her what kind of fabric I used and what the name of the pattern is. And then some little ditty about how I love her, and she, you know, we all, you know, get personal with it. But I need to find someone with an embroidery machine that can put all of that on a quilt label. Because I don't think I can get Sweetwater to put all of that on one, I don't think. Because I want to put the date, all of it on there, who quilted it, because it'll be Sherry quilting it, and it'll be Teresa Louise binding it for me so that we can save on shipping, and me as the main piecer of the quilt. That way she has all the information about her beautiful little quilt and all the love that went into it. Y'all are quiet. Do we have another live going on somewhere? Let me go ahead and sew at least one of these. And I need to change feet. This aside. My machine will embroider, Katie, says Sherry. Ah, so maybe I can hit you up for one. How would it take a long time to put multiple things on a quilt label with the embroidery part of it, Sherry? Is that like a lot of work, or is it pretty simple with the machine? Because Abby is my first granddaughter, and on December the 17th, she turns 14 years old. So you probably noticed that there's some of the numbers when I talk about anniversaries and things like that, like my 14th residency anniversary was in August, and now my granddaughter turns 14. And then we have our 15th wedding anniversary in January. And then in February, it'll be 16 years since Nikolai asked me to marry him. And then in August of the following year, it'll be my 15th year of living here. It'll also be my 17th year of meeting me and Nikolai being a couple. You know, I mean, there's lots of little dates that have meaning for us. And I got to see Abby. She was, let's see, I moved here in August of 2011, and she was born in December of 2011. And I went to see her. She was probably 5 or 6 months old. Maybe, I think she was 6 months old, because she was crawling by then and pulling herself up on things. But what amazed me most about her when she was a baby is you could put her in her crib and she'd just go right off to sleep. She didn't fuss or cry because you walked out of the room. She was just this really easy baby, like her mama was when she was little. Because Chris was the same way. When you put her to bed, she was out. She was like her older sister. She slept, you know, she would go to sleep easily. Thomas was the one that never slept. He kept me on my toes, and well, we realized after until he had his surgery why he was not sleeping. But that had went on for 6 years before we discovered what the problem was. All right, now we're going to be putting this fabric on the back. This is the front, the back. And I'm going to use my little glue stick right here. I'm going to take one of these blocks, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on here so it doesn't go anywhere. That is if this glue stick's not dried out. I hope it isn't, because it's got a weird color to it. I'm going to glue it on here. And this heat will make this glue go away. I just want to make sure I have everything lined up properly on here. And I just put a little dab on there just to keep it from moving. Now, Let me say something about this glue thing. I'm only just now messing around with glue. I can just as easily just stick a pin right through the middle of it and be done with it. So, do you need glue to do this? No. But if you want to not have to use pins, this would be a good avenue for you. Now what I got to do is I'm going to go ahead on this first block and I'm going to go ahead and trim the 1/4 inch all around. See how she has extra on here? And she did this intentionally. This is the way Kimberly does things. And so whenever you have a kit from Fat Quarter Shop, it will always have this extra stuff so that you don't worry about, well, I have to use every last piece of the fabric to make it all fit. That's not how her patterns usually work. And all I'm doing is trimming down to a 1/4 inch seam allowance so that when I line up my triangles, they should line up right like they should. Okay. And we're going to turn it back over. Denise says, I only wait. Uh-oh. Jaja says, still here sewing. Carrie says, nope, just cutting fabric now that I fixed my math error, laugh out loud. And says, it will just take a big label. Yeah, I'm thinking like this big to put everything I want to say in it, because I want to put to my granddaughter, Abigail Grace, and then from Anna, Katie Oglesby Jolson, my whole name. And then I'm going to put the date that it was pieced, the date it was quilted, and who quilted it. Because I'll probably put piecing by me, quilting by Sherry, and binding by Teresa on it. And then the name of the pattern and the fabric that was used will be on that quilt. Okay, now what I'm going to do is we're going to sew 2 sides at a time. And if you look at this, you'll see that this triangle is bigger than the paper. Now, one of the things that I like to do, and I know this is going to sound silly, and I don't even know if this paper is going to let me do it. I like to find the center. It's not going to let me do it. So I'm going to measure the square again. So there's the center. And all I'm going to do is just mark where the center is so that I can make sure my triangle's on the center. Of course, there's trimming down. I might not even have to worry about that because this is going to get trimmed down. I don't know. Anyway, let's try it. Anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to sew 2 sides. So try to get your triangles lined up properly. And now I'm going to use a pin. Pin it in place. Then I'm going to turn it around and put the another triangle on the other side. And just check on your edges and see if you can get it as close as you can. And then pin again. And then what you're going to do is turn this over and sew on these 2 lines. All right, so let's get that done. Oh, I need to change my foot. I sew with an open toe acrylic foot because it's easier for me to see the lines on these paper than using one that has shiny metallic on it, because sometimes that bounces off my glasses. I think these squares are going to go together relatively quick. All right, let's do the other side now. Now, these square and the squares can be done manually. The only reason I'm using the paper, wow. I need to fix that. I don't know why that moved like that. That's just plain weird. Anyway, what I was about to say was, normally most of us would just do square and a square as the usual way, piecing it. But this kit came with all of these papers and everything. In fact, the whole kit is paper piecing. Every last element of it is paper piecing, except for I think the outer borders and stuff. That's not paper piecing. So that's why you're seeing me use paper piecing for these square and the squares, and for also the economy, is because that's how this pattern was set up. So the cutting for this paper piecing and everything is based on, or when you have to cut the fabric, it's based on that. And I don't know why this moved, but it moved. It shouldn't have, but it did. Probably because I didn't have it pinned well enough. So now we got to fix it. I can do the binding too, hand sewed down if you want, says Sherry. Oh, okay. That would be great. I'm so excited about making this for her because it'll be my first masterpiece to give her. And I think what I'm going to do with the friendship blank quilt that I'm doing, I'm going to probably give that one. I, I, I don't know. I kind of want to make more than one of those like that because they're so colorful. So the younger granddaughters are going to get that, and then for Blaze, I haven't decided what I want to do for Blaze yet. I want to make him a dinosaur blanket. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think a dinosaur quilt would be too young for a 9-year-old, or do you think that's a good age to give a dinosaur blanket to or quilt to? 9, 10-year-old. Because by the time I get it made, he'll be 10. What's y'all's comment? What's y'all's thoughts on that? Denise says, I only remember the date I got married and where I was when I met my husband. How long were we a couple before marriage? How do you keep up with those dates in your head? I don't know. I just do. Some things I can remember. Like I can remember my parents' very first phone number. And you're like, why? I don't know why I can remember that, but I can. But I can't remember where I lay my keys at. But I started a ritual where now I know where my keys are at because someone bought me a key holder that looks like a horse, and I hung it right at my front door. So whenever I walk in my front door, as soon as I walk in the door, before I even get the door shut, the key is on the rack. And I've had to really work hard to train myself to do that because what was happening was it only takes somebody to speak to me and distract me, and then I'll lay my keys wherever and then won't remember where I laid them. And it got to be a habit of losing my keys constantly, which is annoying because I'm walking around, especially if I have an appointment, and I'm walking around trying to find my bloody keys and can't find them. Carrie says, I still like dinosaurs. Go for it. Jaja says that's a good age. And Jaja says, I shared a second friend or started a second friendship. They are. I love it. They're super cool. Okay, we got that on. Now let me. All right, we've got two sides on, and I think I'm gonna take it over the iron and go ahead and press it, just for the sake of keeping things flat. I actually have that dinosaur pattern, and that's why I was wondering if it would be if it would be too adolescent. Oh, I don't know where I put it at yet. But I'll on the next live I'll show you the pattern. But you've already, most of you have seen it because Kimberly made a dinosaur blanket for her son. But I don't know what his age was when she made that. The other thing my grandson seems to like besides dinosaurs is he loves things space. He loves space, which I find that interesting because I have loved space my whole life too. Ever since as far back as I can remember, I was always checking out nonfiction books that discussed space and planets and the Milky Way and all those fun things because I find that stuff fascinating. Looks like Blaze is going to be doing some therapy at school. It's an additional program because of him being, you know, all the stuff in the past. He's doing really good. I'm really happy with how well they're doing. And Thomas, y'all aren't gonna believe this, but you know, he's been in this apartment now for a year. And he'll hit his 1 year anniversary for his job. We think it's the first week in December, or either the somewhere between the last week in November and the first week in December is when he started working. Can't believe that much time has gone by. And he's still doing really good with his job and everything. Okay, now let's get this side done. We're going to have this first block done here in a minute. Uh-oh, that's not correct. Okay, let's get the pins out of this one. And we'll go over and press it. Okay. Fabrics. The iron's very hot. Now this might look messy to you, but when you see me trim it, it won't look messy anymore. Now I'm going to turn it over and trim it. Okay. One thing about this pattern, because it gives you all the cutting instructions and what paper you can use. You can actually make another one out of this. And there's the block. What do y'all think? So it's been 2 hours. I think I'm gonna make one more block. I don't know, maybe I can manage to get all of them made and then stop. Let's see what happens. I'm not in pain right now. Y'all want to stick with me, or you want to go somewhere else to watch someone else's live now that I've been 2 hours in? What say you? Continue or stop? I know I could keep on going. You know that. I'm not in pain right now, so there's that. Sherry, is your headache any better? Jaja says, stick with me. What do y'all guys do for your fingernails when they... I don't paint my fingernails or anything. You probably noticed that because I'm just not that kind of person. But my biggest issue is I'm constantly breaking them off. Is there anything I can do for that? They get to a certain length and then I crack them. Sherry's slightly better. I will stick with you. Just don't push yourself into the pain level. Okay, I won't. If I start feeling the least bit of discomfort, we will stop. Because so far this pain that runs down my leg hasn't started yet. Which is why I feel like I could go a little bit longer. I probably shouldn't push past maybe, I don't know, let's do 2.5 hours and then stop probably would be a good idea. Not do my usual, because normally I do 3 hours, but never know, in 15 minutes. She says, I keep mine short because they break. Yeah, I keep clipping mine because I keep breaking them. Which means it's probably time for me to clip them again. All right. Let's pin this. What's y'all's plans for Sunday? If I get all 4 of these done, that's great for timing for me. I figured tomorrow and Tuesday I would find people's lives and run their lives and sew. But I definitely need to make some. I actually have 2 pre-records I've already done that I need to edit that'll help new creators with navigating how to set up lives. And one of them has to do with setting up with Zoom. Another one has to do with how to turn closed captioning on, because a lot of creators don't turn their closed captioning on, and we do have hearing impaired people watching. We have more than one actually that's hearing impaired. So the hearing impaired one will come out first, and then how to do the other stuff next. And so that the next set will have to do with Zoom and setting up a live. And then the third one I haven't made yet is I'm going to do StreamYard, I think. Since some people like to use StreamYard, and I've messed with it a little bit. And I thought I would do a test live with StreamYard from my end of it, just for the heck. Nora, you're on my, oh, you got your, girl, why use my pedal as your pillow? You're so funny. So that'll be another one. But I also, I plan on making me some little short videos, not short. Just so that I have some backup videos, and I'm going to introduce them a little bit over time. That's something I haven't really concentrated on this year, is making, I haven't made that many pre-records other than for the podcast, and I need to go on a podcast hunt for some potential interviewees, because it's time to do some more podcasting. I haven't done any in the last month or two. Carrie says she's sewing before she hits the road Monday. Okay, let's get these two sides done. And we're going to do this other side. I'm going to be, this one's going to be rather nice, because when I get all these 16 squares done, I'll be able to start sewing together the 20 blocks that I've already done with these four. And there'll be 4 quadrants to sew together, which will be great, because it'll start looking like I'm accomplishing something. On the road again. Asa, are you still there, or did you fall asleep? Honey, let me know if you're still in the chat. You were sleeping too, huh? I wouldn't be surprised. You know what you plan on doing tomorrow, or have you given it any thought? Maybe you can see some family or something. Did you take your hard drive with you so you could watch movies on their TVs? All right. Carrie says, I love where I live most of the time, not when it's time for doctor's appointments at the other side of the state. Yeah, I can understand that. It's like when you have to have testing done, like an MRI or a CAT scan. It's a trip by flying. Because we live very remotely right now. Oh, speaking of something before I forget about it, I don't know if anyone saw there's a YouTube video out. It's an IKEA video. Did you know that IKEA is going to be has just started selling cotton pre-cuts? How many of you knew about that? 100% cotton pre-cuts. All right. Bonnie says, I do now. Thanks, Katie. It's a separate section that they're setting up, Denise, and it'll be different sizes that they're going to be selling. I mean, sizes where you can make clothing or piecing things. So it's not just upholstery and stuff. It's definitely I saw some in there. It was similar to Tula Pink, but I know it wasn't Tula Pink. There's no way they're selling Tula Pink in there in the video, but it is some of the fabric similar to that type of colorway I noticed. But she said they were just starting out, so it'd probably take them time to get a big amount of it in their stores, but that's their plan. They're going to be selling pre-cuts. Denise says she hasn't been in an IKEA year. She just remembered it being in yardage. Very nice fabric. Yeah, I didn't even know they sold fabric to start with. And she showed the department where you can buy a fabric to make sheets and everything else, and they had that section too. See, I didn't even know they had all of that there. Okay, here's another block done. Let's get this last one done, and then I'll press them all and show them to you. Because now I have two here, and I've already showed you the first one. So let's get this one on here, and it'll be block number 4 for this. Do you need to go shoo-shoo? Is that what you're giving me grief about? Or are you wanting something else? I bet you want more of something else. Hang on a minute, y'all. Just gave her the rest of her dinner. And probably when I finish this block and get it squared up, everything squared up and show it to you, that'll be when I'll stop the live. Because I probably should think about eating something myself. You know, my husband is such a special human being. Before he left, and because I was still in bed, he went to the store and he got me something for lunch. And unbeknownst to me, a couple of treats that I found sitting on my desk when I came in here for sewing. And that's the way he does things. He makes me feel so loved and stuff. He's just very loving human being, and I love him so much because he just does these things randomly without even, you know, and he's been so good about taking care of me with this stuff with my spine and everything, and I just, words can't even express how much I appreciate him. Has anyone seen Laura's stuff lately? Is everything okay with her? Because I haven't seen her in the last 2 or 3 of my lives. Hey, Robin. Not many like him around anymore. Not many like him around anymore. He's a keeper. Yes, he is. I so agree with you. I never thought I would get blessed with someone like him, and here I am, have someone, you know. I wish we'd have known about each other when we were way younger. But I guess that this was meant to be the way it is. Because he is a good man. How you doing, Robin? Everything good in your world? Michelle says, hey, Michelle. She says, hi, Katie. Your husband is so sweet. Mine is like that, too. Oh, no. So that's what's going on with her. Ouch. that just probably messed with her mojo some more because she was already having difficulty with trying to get her mojo back. Golly. That's not good. Not good at all. I know I hadn't seen her, so I didn't know what was going on with her. She's like Denise and Robin. They're always hearing my lives. All right, let's get this side done. And then I can press all of these, trim, and then we'll trim them up and you'll see all 4 of them. Yep. And I'll re-show you the block that I finished that was supposed to have been finished last night and didn't get finished because Payne wouldn't let me. And I will have to say I have been productive tonight in this live, which is a good thing. Maybe not got things done as fast, but I got things done. So that's good. That's progress. Because I have a lot of catching up to do. Ouch. Ugh. That hurt. They got it under control now. Oh, good. And Robin says she's just working on the last diamond for row number 8. Outstanding. I can't. Are you gonna share any pictures by any chance so I can see? Because I sure would like to see your diamonds. Okay, now we got this last one done. Let's take all 3 of these over to the iron, get them pressed open, and then we're going to trim them. Okay, now I need to clean them up a bit. coming along on this. This upcoming Sunday, when I get with Sean, we'll be working on Star Climber again. That's our plan. And then in December, we will revisit the Stitch It challenge that me and him are doing. And I have some plans for November that will pilfer over for December. And also, I'm not sure when Cotton Cuts is sending out their Rosa Your Way stuff, but hopefully they'll get them out this week, so that, especially for us international people, and hopefully I'm hoping that my Christmas Advent boxes get here before the 1st of December, or right at the beginning of December. That way I can do some Vlogmas unboxings of those. But I have some secret stuff to share with you that has to do with Christmas too. I'm not going to tell you what they are. And I'm pulling out a Christmas quilt that I have the back done on, the front and the back done, as far as getting it ready to put into a sandwich. And I'm going to quilt that, I think, during November as an extra thing, you know, for watch hours. I'll probably do it like a sleepless in Greenland night kind of thing, and just quilt. And I'll be doing straight line quilting with that. And maybe for December, I'll have something to hang up that looks Christmassy. Because I've been eyeballing, it's been sitting in that tote, like, quilt me, quilt me, quilt me. And I'm going to start advertising for my 20 or 12-hour live on New Year's Eve. It'll be my 3rd annual live for that. So I'm super excited about that, because it'll be the 3rd year in a row I'll be doing that. And I love how it's worked out. People come in and stay a while. There's been 2 or 3 people that stay the whole 12 with me. Now, I don't know what we're going to do about if having pain problems. Probably be like where I get up and walk away. I'm hoping to have some guests that'll come on the Zoom with me. We'll see. It just depends. But I'm hoping that I can get a few. And those of you who are channel creators sitting in my channel right now, I would like it if you would come on to the 12-hour live. You don't have to stay 12 hours. You can stay for as long as you want to, even if it's 5 minutes. And all I want you to do is come on to the live and tell us about your channel. Tell us about what you've been working on, and if you already know what if you already have pre-plans for what you're going to do for the year of 2026, you can share that on the 12-hour live, and then you can stay or go. You don't. There's no set rules of how long you need to stay. It's again, like it's been being the last 2 years. It's an open book or open door live. You come and you go, because there'll be this is, I think, let me see when it New Year's Eve is on what day of the week is it on? And I think it's going to come in conflict with people's lives, which I knew it did last year. And so people are going to want to watch other people's lives too. And I do not expect anyone to give up other people's lives just for me. Oh, so here it is. New Year's Eve live will be December the 31st, and that is on a Wednesday. So it's not even going to conflict with Saturday or Sunday. It's on a Wednesday, which makes me happy, because that means I don't have to worry about all day lives going on that might conflict with everyone else. Okay. Now, let me show you these blocks. I made 4 of the same block, and this is called they're calling this one the mango block. So I've made 4 of these. So this is the first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. So the next one that's going to use the square and a square is called the lemon block, and that one is this one right here. So I'll start on that one, and then I'll do the other two, which is the economy block. So there's like a square and a square and a square. Okay, and then to refresh everybody's memory, here is block number 20, clown go around block. She says, I watched most of your New Year's Eve special last year. It was fun and interesting. We're always up late. Yes, it was a lot of fun, Michelle. We had a good time. Hey, Candace, welcome, welcome. Robin says, be careful with the weight of the quilt and your pain. Yes, this, I'll show you the size of the quilt and see if you think it's going to cause extra pain. Hold on a minute. The front of it must be in this stack of quilts over here. But this is the size of it. The front of it's probably in this pile of quilts, and I would have to take that all apart just to find it. But let me show you the size of the back. You'll know about what size it's. So this is going on the back. So the quilt is it's like a hanging quilt size. But see, I even have a quilt label in here. I don't know if you saw that or not. Put a quilt label right in the middle of it. So this might wear me out. And if it does, what I'll probably do is do it in increments or something. Like do a little bit portion of it, set it aside, and then come back, because it still seems big to me. All right, so you saw my blocks and number 20 of my 1000 block. Please go over to either Facebook or my community tab, whichever's easiest for you, and vote on the block that you like the most for the next, because I put up 4 new blocks, and based on the percentage will be based on how I sew them on the next, because the next the date for the next what did I do with my calendar for November? And I'm also going to tell y'all this because I feel like I want to because I have to have 30 blocks for my quilt, because I'm making a queen size with these blocks. Where's November? So what my plan is the voting for the 1000 block will be cut off on Wednesday, November the 5th. So make sure you vote by then. Then the 7th, we'll introduce block 21. The 14th, I'm going to add block 22. The 21st will be, I'm sorry. The 7th is going to be block 21. The 14th will be block 22. The 21st will be block 23. And the 28th is going to be block 24 because I got behind. Then in December, I'm going to do block 20. Block 25 will be on December the 5th. 26th block will be the 12th of December. 27th block will be on the 19th of December. 28th block will be on the 26th, and that's going to leave 2 blocks that we can carry over into January, because I intend on, because we started this tutorial sew block thing in February. So we're going to finish, or we're going to put these blocks together in February. That's the plan. So now I don't know if everyone else is doing theirs in the queen size. I guess I should put out a post and ask what size quilts they plan on making for theirs, because I think there's 4 or 5 people making the blocks right now. If you want to make the blocks and you haven't bought the book yet, you can go on Amazon or on Barnes and Noble And this is the block book. 1,000 blocks. I'm still thinking that even after we spent a year on these blocks, I don't know if I want to stop making the blocks because it's been a good skill builder for everyone. And those that haven't started the blocks that bought the book, maybe me doing the second year of this. I don't know. I haven't made a decision. I'm going to get some input from you guys on that for what I want to do for tutorial blocks next year because I'm really enjoying this. This has been a lot of fun. And yeah. All right. So I will see you guys next week. I'm pretty sure I said I didn't have any lives for in the middle of the week because the Tuesday live for crocheting is the following week after this week. Remember, really? Hang on a minute. Sorry. Let me go back real quick. Yeah, there'll be no live until November the 6th. So I don't have anything for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I'm going to use those days to do pre-records and sewing. Just try to catch myself up. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the live. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button on your way out, and I will see. When is your next Sunday stream? That is on the next Sunday stream will be November the 9th for Sean and November the 16th for Danny, me, and Myra for the mental health one. So there'll be 2 Sundays in a row for that. So that's when they are. The 9th is Sean. The 16th is Danny. And November the 6th will be my next Thursday live. And then we also have a crochet live, which will be the 11th of November. I'll remind everybody of those dates as we get closer. Okay, so anyway, thank you for coming to my live. You'll see me around in other people's chats. And yeah, thank you all for everything you've done for my channel. I appreciate you so much. And let's have a great November, y'all. Remember to live, laugh, love, and dream. And what do you do with all that? Y'all get up there and make something beautiful, whatever it is you're making.